Hey guys, how's it going? This is Johnny and welcome to the channel. So today we'll talk about posters. No, you mean covers, right? No, you mean posters. No. You actually mean a cover. Well, I actually hear these words used interchangeably, and I can understand why people use them in different terms and different reasons and at different times. Today we'll just be talking about what is the value of a poster and how you can make it work for you. So what is a poster? A poster typically is a large piece of work that's used for decoration. Now, this can also be used for promoting. This can also be used to showcase something that's about to happen, introduce new characters, and it can also be used for a fun and exciting way to introduce people to what you do and who you are as a creative person. Before we get into these 7 tips, these 7 gems that I'm about to give you that you can hold in your hand almost, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. I told you there's videos coming and you're gonna definitely enjoy them. So in the beginning, this wasn't even supposed to be about a video about making posters. I was actually gonna take 3 of my characters, turn them into a character sheet where I draw them in 3 different poses and just make sure that the designs were correct and what I need them to be. But then eventually, I actually turned it into something where you guys are gonna see where I started adding more and more characters. And then I was like, you know what, this is a great chance for me to make a poster for you guys and show you what I do and how I put it together. The first tip is you want to know if you want your poster to be dynamic or simple. With a dynamic design, you might sometimes see a fight scene between 2 or more characters. There's sometimes someone jumping off the page throwing a punch. There's usually powers and abilities, sometimes fire, sometimes explosions. You get to see so many moving parts, and there's so much energy that's made when you use a dynamic poster. And then there's a more simpler approach to it, where you're actually just showing your characters a scene, building momentum and tension, allowing people to see that something's about to happen in your story. You want to know when to use each kind. The best thing about it is each poster is going to help you at different times in your story. The second thing you want to do is know who's going to be in your scene and where you're going to place them at. Now, this happens when you're laying out your story or when you're laying out your poster. You want to know who's going to be there, but also you might want to add some elements to the side where you might sometimes see a big headshot of one character, a spaceship in another area. There's numerous ways to get the job done, but you want to lay it out in the beginning so you're not wasting time in the end adding and subtracting things when you have a good or finite idea in the beginning. It's very helpful, and it's almost like your GPS. You want to make sure you know exactly where you're going before you start the journey. Now, the third thing you want to do after you know who's going to be in the scene and you laid everything out is make sure it's easily read, that you can see what's happening and it's not confusing and it's not misleading. Now, sometimes you might draw something where you're adding something to a scene that might not be in your story, but it looks really cool, and that can be a little misleading and it can get a couple of different people frustrated or upset. Or there's times where you draw so many details, it's hard to understand what's happening. Make sure that things are clear for your fan base, for your supporters, and the people who are critiquing your work. Just be simple and make sure that your stuff is honest and understandable. The fourth thing you want to do is find something to add to your poster. This can be an element, maybe fire or water. This can be dust or debris, rocks flying. Add a little bit of flair, some energy to it. It's almost like seasoning. You want to just add a little bit of extra to give it that oomph, that kick, to make sure that people can really enjoy what they're seeing. Just make sure it's not too much and you're not diluting what you're making and you're not making it too messy and it's hard to understand what's happening. You know, it's not going to really make or break your story. It's not going to really make or break what's happening, but it can help elevate the dish, almost like if you were cooking. I don't know about you guys, but I love to eat. It's nothing better than adding some salt You know what I mean? A little bit of salt. The fifth thing you want to do is have a focus, where you're either pushing the camera directly to something, or you're actually allowing your viewers to actually take a full scope of what's happening. Sometimes you might notice in a poster, one character is bigger than the other. Sometimes you might notice that the scene is highlighted in such a way where you notice it. Then there's other times where it's a little bit of a balance, where you just see what's happening and you're able to take it all in. Understanding what your focus is going to be is going to help you control what your viewer sees at a better rate, and you can actually make sure that what they need to see is what they're noticing first. The sixth thing you want to do is make sure that your colors are sharp and they're precise in what you need. Make sure that you understand that colors change the mood of what's happening. When you use certain colors, certain shadows and lighting, you're actually going to make your viewer see and feel a certain type of way when they look at what you're doing. So make sure that the colors highlight what you need them to. If it's a sad scene, use sad colors. If it's a bright scene, use bright colors. If it's a scene that's angry or it's going to make your viewer a little upset, use those colors so it complements what you're doing. And now you're not doing more work than you have to, and you're also not making people feel the wrong type of way. The seventh thing you want to do is make sure that you have fun. Enjoy what you're doing and take your time. Do not rush this process. Remember, this is something that you're using to promote what you're doing. Do not rush. Make sure that people can understand what's happening. Make sure it's entertaining. Make sure that you're spending enough time on each character to where the details of what they need to be. And you know what? You're going to make sure that this is done properly and it's going to be done correctly. I'm going to give you guys an 8th tip. So this 8th tip is pay attention to what others are doing when they're doing something very similar to you. Because you're making a very specific kind of poster, it's been done before. See what other people did well, see what other people didn't do well, and then you take what you need and now you make a better version of what you did naturally. So you're learning, you're growing, and you're also realizing what you should not do, and then you're going to add your own little spice to it to where you make it yours. If you've seen someone draw Superman in the front with his chest out and his arms on his chest, maybe you draw Superman in the same pose from behind and his cape is flying, but you know it's Superman. You're finding ways to make it yours. You want to learn what worked before, but also add your twist to it, add your own way. The idea of it is you want to practice enough to where you don't need the reference. You want to practice enough where you can actually take ideas from your head and put it on paper a lot easier. But you know what? You got to start somewhere, and understanding that is very helpful and is key to growing from where you are at the moment. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, hit that subscribe button. There's a notification bell right next to it. You definitely don't want to miss it. Don't miss it. It's right there. And stay tuned. There's so many more videos coming. The content is crazy.